Let me get it together.
All right. Okay. Put these on back here. You think this shit's so funny, don't you? What's good? I'm Skip.
And I'm DJ.
And this is DeCypher, and today we are breaking down Nas's 15th studio album, King's Disease 3, which is produced by Hit Boy. Before we get into all that, I do want to ask you how you doing today.
I'm doing great, man.
I'm feeling good as well, man. And this is one of the albums from 2022 that I'm glad that we get an opportunity to break down in this slower part of the year. You know, first quarter, you don't get a lot of albums, so it's a good time for us to go back into grab some of the gems from 2022 that we didn't get to. So looking into this album, King's Disease 3, it kind of causes you to take a look back over Nas's career. Going back about 30 years, we got Illmatic. So fast forward in 30 years now, he just did 4 straight albums with Hit Boy, giving us...
Within 2 years.
Within 2 years, exactly. Giving us all of the reason to, you know, just give him his flowers and pay more attention to what he has done throughout the 30 years that he has been, you know, consistently giving us music, to consider him one of, if not the, by some, greatest rap artists of all time. So
that's crazy when you really think about it. Like, he gave us 4 projects in 2 years, and all them shit solid.
Yeah, at this stage, especially like off of, like, when was his last album? Okay, because he did Nasir in what, 2017, something like that. So I think that kind of had him like, nah, I can't.
That was the Kanye project,
yeah, it probably left a bad taste in his mouth. So he was like, nah, I gotta spin the block. So once he found somebody that could help him, in essence, modernize his sound, kind of like
that's the best word to put it.
Somebody to like modernize and revamp his sound and allow him to still be him. I feel like it was the perfect duo at this time for him, you know, to step out and do something like this. So I think with that, you know, injection of energy and attentive focus into what and who he is as an artist and what would help him the most, I feel like that, really rejuvenated Nas and helped him, you know, get to this level. As you said, what you said, second, third, and fourth win?
Yeah, man. And I mean, anybody, you're more than welcome to correct me if I'm wrong when I say this, but like I said, this is definitely an episode I was excited to do, because this is just another opportunity I feel that I can give Hit Boy his flowers, man. And I mean, this, like I said, I may be speaking for him. I don't fucking know. But I just feel as though, like, with all the shit that he has done, like, I still feel as though he wants to, like, challenge himself or, like, prove himself to be, like, that guy.
Yeah. And
getting with somebody like Nas to be able to, like, really show, like, what you can really do in terms of being a producer and basically sequencing an album and making the beats, like, it really showed his talents in terms of really crafting an album and just making the beats, like, as far as just using new beats or using soul samples or using loops. Like, he just basically showed throughout all these 4 albums, but look, we'll just go say 3 for now, since we talk about King Disease, but throughout the 3-peat of this project, like, I feel as though Hit Boy was able to show, like, a wide range of skills that, as far as being a beat maker. And I really appreciate that. And I think most people do appreciate that when they do listen to these, like, the 3-peat, because I haven't really heard anything bad about, you know, any of the albums, really. So I think that really, it helped both of them at this point of their careers. Yeah. Like, it allowed people to see Hit Boy for being one of them guys, but it also made people, like, now really kind of listen to Nas, because, like you said, it modernized his sound. So I think that was just a really good marriage of lyricisms, storytelling, beats, sequencing, setups, right at the right time.
Michael and Quincy. Like, as you were saying that, that's exactly what it, you know, what popped up in my head. Yeah. But yeah, like looking over them coming together and you know what they were able to put together. I feel like this, like you go ahead.
And I think because like Nas was definitely looking for somebody like that, especially after you said the whole Kanye thing. And I think when he saw what Hit Boy was able to do with Big Sean, I think that kind of opened his eyes up.
Yeah, I think that, and also, and this is what I was finna say. Like I had lost my thought. I'm glad you interjected and allowed me to find it. But the producer rapper albums like The Alchemist, the
Premier.
Alchemist, Premier, just all of the artists who've been like finding a singular producer and creating albums, and that particular artist as well having a resurgence. So like I feel like this is a product of like the Primes, the Run the Jewels, the Alchemist related projects, like all of that stuff like led to this because it made Nas feel comfortable enough to understand if he wanted to come back, he didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Yeah. Like he basically just had to be George Washington Carver.
And I think they really just, them two in particular, they really respect each other.
Yeah.
And it shows like when you really get with somebody, you really respect them as a man, as a person, you respect what they do. It shows, the chemistry shows.
Yeah.
And they just like really weave like a 3-man weave on all these shits, bro. Yeah. So
because it's because even though like Hit Boy has done a lot of work with a lot of people, this is still a stage that he hasn't really had to operate on in his career from the perspective of creating a soundscape from fresh with a legend. You know what I mean? So it's like he gets the opportunity to perform on this stage and like recorrect and help Nas realign himself like with where we feel like he should be. And then with Nas, it's allowing him to like reassert himself into the conversation and just, like you said, remind people who he really is and just continue to add on to, you know, already stellar catalog. Like
y'all can't say Nas picked bad beats anymore.
He never did. Now he probably had some bad beats, but like scratching these 4 projects off, that's 11 albums. You probably gonna have 10 beats that's not good, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and that might be like, I don't think somebody coming and be like, hey, I got 40 bad beats from Nas prior to the King's Disease project. Well, you just got 40 great ones in a 2-year span. Like, this is a legendary run. Like, we don't get this from artists of his ilk ever.
Yep.
Like, the closest it ain't nobody. So, like hats off to him and Hit Boy for inviting artists of his caliber to feel like the ability to do something like this. And shout out to Nas for being willing to do it and sticking with it and creating like 4 really good projects. But I feel like this one that we're going to talk about today may be a step above the other King's Disease projects. Magic stands somewhere in mystery land by itself. But out of these 3, like, I feel like this one is really special and I want to talk about it. So what are some of your thoughts about the album? Like if you had any, you know.
We kind of really touched on it, but just the most important things is like just showing Nas's longevity and his consistency, because he was able to, like you said, he did this shit in a span of 2 years. If you can't consider that consistent, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I think just getting with Hit Boy and seeing what he was able to do, I think it really renewed like his passion for rap.
Yeah.
And just their chemistry with each other. Like that was just probably the big takeaway I got from this, because like I said, he addressed it a couple times as far as him and Hit Boy and how they work on this album. So I think that was just the most important thing, that he was able to find somebody that he really was able to bond with, and he was able to bring the best out of each other, I feel. So
okay. Yeah, and I agree with that. I feel like throughout the process of making them, I feel like it was like a road to create the perfect version of what the King's Diseases would sound like. And I feel like this is the mastered version of the King's Disease project from both Hit Boy and Nas.
Yeah, because when we go back to KD 1 and 2, and we mentioned this before we started, you notice KD 1 I feel so had the most features on it. And then as they went on, he had less features.
Because I think he started to get more, he had a better understanding of what
Nas wanted.
And I think, well, Hit Boy always, he's been consistent. He's been getting better, contouring it to Nas's sound and like creating a new sound with them together. And I feel like it's some beats on here that like perfectly illustrate what I'm trying to say. This also sounds like memoirs of an OG. Like this is like if he was to create a life and times from this stage in his life, this is what it would be. And with that, he created an extremely grounded album. It's just super relatable. He's speaking to you from a place where he's not talking at you. He's talking to you, giving you elements from this stage in his life, reminiscing on stuff, times that he felt like helped define who he is, but also having a great sense of appreciation for the present. So let's get into some of your favorite tracks from the project. And while you're doing it, I'll go ahead and go first. I got Ghetto Reporter. I feel like it was a super strong introduction to this project. And the beat was great too. Thun, 30, WTF, SMH, Once a Man, Twice a Child, and Beef. Pause.
Let's see. My favorite songs would probably be Legit. And yes, I am going to double back on when we was talking about the Hip Hop DX Awards, and I was talking about Johnny P's Caddy. Nah, Legit.
I
think I was more so just wrapped up in the verse. But nah, Legit is by far the best beat on there. But yeah, Legit, Michael and Quincy is probably my favorite song on the album. 30, Reminisce, I'm on Fire, and Serious Interlude. And I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Get Light. I kind of like Get Light, bro. I kind of grew on me a little bit. I like that. But
and if we're doing the honorable mention, I would give it to Serious Interlude. Yeah, that'd be my. Now this is a first, and we ain't got to go into it in depth. But this is probably like the first. This is like the most different our list have ever been. Going through DeCypher. Which one you want to talk about first?
Let's start out with track 1, Ghetto Reporter.
Okay. Go ahead.
This may be a reach, but this is what I got from it several times. Like I listened to this album in its entirety, like front to back, even scrambled, all that. I'd listened to this album at least, I'd probably say a total of 10 times. In the past, I'd probably say 3 weeks. Because we were supposed to do this a couple weeks ago. So in the past 3 weeks, I probably listened to it a total of 10 times. Like I've listened to it just to have something on in the background. I listened to it while I was working out. I've listened to it when I was going to bed. Listened to it when I was driving. Like I just listened to it at different points.
I live and breathe this shit, son.
But I just listened to it at different points to see if I get anything different from it. Because I'm in a different state of mind because I'm doing something different. And the first song, when I think it was Richard Pryor?
Yeah.
When he was talking about they give niggas time like it's lunch down here. Jack, you go down there looking for justice, all you gonna see is just us.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's just funny as hell. But it's also kind of fire as far as like a bar. But I wanna tie that to one of the verses that's in Ghetto Reporter. And Nas was like, when the culture virtual swooped down and started exploring the sound, they drew up contracts while niggas drew here to drew down. And I'm praying they said. Instead, most artists don't live as good as the execs, and they end up depressed, scarred by A&Rs, and the music be changing. And I wanted to connect on that because I look at it like when he was like, when you go down there trying to find justice and you find just us, it's kind of like a metaphor for the music industry because for the most part, they try to tap us. They exploit our sound, do all this and that, sign all these bad deals, bad contracts, and people will just be miserable. You know what I'm saying? They can't get out. They stuck. And they can never evolve. They can never grow. And that's how they always end up being
slaves to the system, kind of like slaves the justice system, you know, when they in jail. Like they are confined by the rules of that system until they satisfy whatever commitment they have. But yeah, so it's like, you know, they create a diagram. They create a dynamic of what's acceptable in music. So like you get into, they make, so you kind of fuck from the jump if you buying what they selling.
Yeah.
You know, you come into it making a certain type of music that's, you know, hazardous to not only your life, but dangerous to the people consuming it that aren't, you know, well informed enough to think for themselves, you know, on a consistent basis. So you pumping out jail music, and in order to keep this jail bait persona, you do shit that'll get you put in jail. So you either end up dead or in jail, or still in jail through the means of your contract that you can only satisfy by putting out the shit they got you signed, which is more jail propaganda.
Hence the 360
drugs.
The 360 deal. And they just going into a constant loop and to the point where they just become irrelevant at that point. And they still owe them money.
Yeah.
You still owe the record labels money, even when you're not hot no more.
So when you try to venture off and get yourself together in other spots, until you satisfy that commitment, they own a piece of everything about you.
So that's every time. I don't know why they just kind of like, that was just a connection for me when I heard the beginning part of Richard Pryor. So I thought that was real interesting as far as a way for him to, like you said, he really is talking to y'all, but he not really preaching. He just basically telling you what can happen or what goes on, since he's been in the game for over 30 years now. You know what I'm saying? Just in like a real clever way. So I thought that was interesting, because it had to be a reason why he put that at the beginning of the song like that.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, am I reaching? But it gotta be a reason. It ain't just cause that shit funny.
Especially with this type of project, like everything is intentional. So, and especially at this age, it's like, what other reason does he have to rap but to say what it is on his mind to say? And the more you get through the project, the more you see like he's very intentional and selective with what he's saying. Yeah. You know, he's really got a series of thoughts to get across. And a big part of that is speaking to, you know, sharing moments with the people who are of his age. And is that at the end of Ghetto Reporter when he was like, he'll have 50-year-old fans and 16-year-old fans? So yeah, I think he wanted to find a way to speak and connect with all of the demographics that he projected. And the crazy enough is that was younger Nas. You know, forecasting where he would be now.
And then the crazy thing is, navigating through this shit through all these years, like he mentioned, he was like, and the culture be shifting, so you gotta move with it. Call me the party crasher, that playing spoiler. And what I took from that is basically, he didn't conform to nothing in the industry. He was able to be in the industry as long as he has been able to stand on his own, keep his morals, and not conform to all the trends and I guess all the bullshit that be behind the scenes.
Because he said even when the powers that be like felt the way about it and tried to force him into it, like he didn't do that.
Yeah. So I thought that was basically letting y'all know, like, it is possible, bro. Like, I'm standing here on proof that you can be who you want to be and put out the music that you want to put out. So
facts, because like even though, you know, because you know at the top of the top, you got the Jay-Z's and you got the Diddy's, like the people who are like multi-hundred billionaire type earners, you know, like outside of rap, from what they were able to leverage culturally through their rap career. Like it's less of them than it is. It's less of them than it is niggas who like struggling. Nas is like somewhere in the middle. Like he's on the way to 100 million. He's not quite at that billionaire level because it really ain't but 2 or 3 of those. Yeah. You know, them, Dre, Ye, and Hov, of course. So it's like I'm speaking for I could have easily been one of the others. Like I could have been like one of the stragglers. Like, cause I took the longer route. The route where, you know, integrity and creating a certain type of music persona and image is built on like doing it your own way. So it took a little longer. So I think, yeah, like you said, he also has a level of bravado that he can hold on to, knowing he did it his way, and he's still up, but have an appreciation, you know, because he also knows that it could have went a completely different way.
I'm underground and overground, and it's never been seen. Real counts on my streams. Got real people tapping in, so that's what it means.
Yeah. I only got real people listening to me.
That's crazy. Like, it is so weird how he views himself. I guess the sense as far as the type of music or the way that he raps, yeah, you would consider that an underground backpack rapper type person or whatever. But at the same time, I'd have been in this game long enough. I got enough clout to where y'all know my name. Y'all know who I am, bro.
Yeah.
So I like that how he put it, like I'm underground and I'm underground and I'm overground. Yeah. And it ain't never been seen. And it is very few artists that you can put in that category like that.
Yeah.
So
it's a few.
Very
like,
few.
Especially at the level that he made it to. Like he was at the highest of the heights of the mainstream side. But like with this music, he shows that he's very comfortable and probably at heart is an underground artist. Yeah. He just happened to pop. You know, at that time, like that was what, you know, was accepted. But in order to stay, like you have to elevate your sound, especially to be considered great in this craft. And at a time where he was being, you know, pitted against Jay-Z, who was, you know, way more commercial than Nas was at the time.
Facts.
And had Biggie not passed, he would have been huge in commercial. You know what I mean? Like, like Pac was he was probably more reluctantly commercial. Like he had a I Get Around, stuff like that. But like his biggest songs weren't necessarily commercial hits, like Dear Mama and shit like that. So it's like, you know.
Well, no, Dear Mama, I would consider that a commercial.
A commercial song?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because how much people use it.
I mean, it became commercial, but I don't think he sat down and was like, "This gonna go."
Oh yeah. Of course,
you know what I mean? Like this ain't gonna be getting played on the radio.
But they definitely use it a lot now.
Yeah, because it's one of those ones that like universally broke through because it struck a chord at the deepest level of the human condition. You know what I mean? But like most songs, even though they do that, they'll be like, "Nah, we just not gonna play this on the radio." Yeah. But that was just one of them ones, and that's why Tupac is so great. And we gonna of course have to do a Tupac DeCypher soon. But yeah, I feel like that was the cloth that he was cut from. So sustaining a career, 30 plus years, continued greatness, elevation, reinvention, and you know, a resurgence in this part of his career is super commendable, knowing what he's been through.
Bruh, and he came out of that beef with Jay-Z, bruh. Like, I'm not gonna say unscathed, but he stood tall, bruh.
Yeah, but he said he ain't got over it yet.
Yeah, we go. You know, yeah,
I'm sliding in the Range Rover playing Takeover. Sometimes I text Jay-Z like, "This ain't over." You feel like, because like when you like they both went crazy, and I'm glad that they are able to like have like, you know, sport related kind of, you know, competitive conversations about it at this point in their career, because it shows a level of maturity, and that also is just dripping through this project.
Yeah, he said, no beef for rivals, they playing either on title. Brothers can do anything when they decide to. And just that alone, because it was a big thing when they made up. Yeah. Because you remember like they did that interview where they did kind of like
Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, it was kind of like, you remember that? When Nas and Jay-Z had one?
No.
Yeah, they had one. That. Like when they had a sit down interview and they were just basically talking.
Did somebody cry?
No.
Because I would have needed them to be crying like Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas was.
No.
I know I hurt you.
No. But you can tell like that mutual respect.
Yeah.
Is there. I mean, they know each other. Like they knew each other before even rap and shit. Like before the mainstream shit. Like they knew each other. So, but yeah, just the fact that he was able to, me and that relationship, do business together, elevate. You know what I'm saying? Even like, because granted, Jay-Z definitely went a little bit higher, because like you said, he was more commercial.
Yeah.
But I feel so he did help Nas, put him on game, make connections behind the scenes. I feel for where now he's able to, like you said, get to that point where he knocking on that door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and then And I do feel as though, like, initially I thought you was kind of reaching when you were saying this, but now when I go back and think about it, when I heard Nas say that on this song, I do feel Jay-Z be trying to step on Nas on his releases.
Nas said it. He said it in a couple of interviews. She's like, bro, like I drop some, and if Jay-Z ain't got no music to drop, like, he'll drop a picture. He might drop a single, like some old shit. Like he gonna find a way to like do something around when I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think it's like, bro, you dropped Ether, bro. I can't let that shit go, bro. I gotta, like, I know we ain't beefing no more, but I gotta kind of like hit you with a little elbow when you come in the paint. You feel me? Like, nah, bro, you ain't just finna drop unscathed. Like, I'm gonna let you know I see you. I don't hate you.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna let you live, but just know I'm watching.
I feel a way still. Like it ain't resentment. It's just like, dang, like that nigga really slapped me to the floor in front of everybody.
Yeah. You Tybo hoe.
I punched his ass. I made his nose bleed, but he like slapped me dead ass hard. So like, I'm gonna just like gently bump his ass until, you know.
Yeah, I definitely feel so. Yeah, it's definitely intentional.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's a long history. It's like a decade and a half history of him doing this shit. It's like he can't help himself at this point. Mm-hmm. Like that nigga dropped a picture the last time Nas dropped. Like he's just like, I gotta do something. You feel me? So it's like it's just Hov being Hov. He a petty nigga, but let's get into another song, bro. What song you want to talk about next?
On Reminisce. He was like, I didn't have to die so they could call me the great one. Didn't take a couple hours. People said it from day one.
Yes, sir.
That's so tough, bro. I mean, it's true. Yeah. Like, for the most part, Nas was solidified off his first album.
Yeah. And when you like go back and look at Illmatic, like the producers he had, like he went and got a team of like super producers of that time, like Large Professor, Q-Tip, and some other artists. Like I think it was like four producers that went in and created the soundscape for Illmatic. So it's just like it was such a big expectation, but nobody could fathom what it would be and the impact that it would have all these years later. So yeah, he was like the golden child of hip hop from the first time he was introduced to us with that, and for him to be at this level, still doing what he doing, like just make it like all the sweeter. Like I wasn't no fluke, nigga. Like that wasn't just a flash in the pan. Like no, I was really giving y'all like the Da Vinci Code for how to rap for the next 30 years for real. You know, and I'm in myself, I'm still figuring it out, going through a process of simplifying it while still, you know, having a high level prowess to demonstrate when I need to.
Speaking of the first time, yeah, he has a song on the album called First Time. Well, basically what he was just trying to say, like, what were you the first time that you heard me? Or what were you the first time that you heard your favorite artist, etc.? And I did want to ask you, what was the first Nas song you ever heard?
Boy, shoot. I don't know, dog.
That shit tough, ain't it? Because we was like in his, like on his initial run shit, we was like what, 4, 5, 6,
yeah. So
7?
like I feel like it was one of them songs that like blew up on VH1 or on MTV or something. So it might have been like One Mic or I Know I Can. Cause it was like Nas was so foreign to us at that age, like, cause by the time I got into rap, I was probably like 10, 11. So that was around the time Blueprint dropped. So I heard Takeover way before I heard Ether. So like probably.
I mean, didn't Ether come out way later?
It came out 6 months after
Takeover.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah.
So I think I think it was like One Mic or I Know I Can. Something like that.
I'd probably say the first time I heard Nas, it was actually on a remix, the Hot Boys remix. Missy Elliott, Eve, and Nas.
Okay.
That was probably the very first song I heard. And then I heard Hate Me Now. That was probably like the two like back to back. I'm like, okay, I like that. Who's that? Then I heard Hate Me Now. And then, you know, over time, I got introduced because I didn't realize like a lot of people would like sample a lot of his songs.
Yeah.
And shit. Yeah. And I didn't know like where did that song come from? Then when I started listening to the album, like, oh shit, That's what Dead Presidents come from?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I get it.
The original.
Yeah.
The original.
So yeah. But yeah, so I'll probably say, yeah, Hot Boys is probably the Hot Boys remix, because he went on the original. But yeah, the remix is probably the first time I heard Nas.
I agree. I think "Hate Me Now" was the song that I heard. I was like, wow, like he really he really him for real.
Yeah.
And I do feel like that tempo and the way he patterned that verse is like quintessential Nas. Like, how that shit start? Close your eyes, picture me rolling. It's most critically acclaimed Pulitzer Prize winner, best storyteller, thug narrator, my style grader, model data, big threat to a lot of you haters. Like that song, when I heard, I was like, oh, like he is, like, it's a whole nother way to rap. Like, cause coming up, like it was a lot of like the slow pace shit from the South that we was hearing. Like, you know, this round 50 Cent time, Lil Wayne, like early on. So it's like, oh, like this nigga is like different. Cause even Jay-Z raps slow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you get a hold of Nas, you're like, oh, like, nah, like it's a whole nother level to
like,
attain.
His cadence is crazy.
Insane, bro. And then he was like talking so much shit and packing it in these verses. And then that song, which was like the "Hate Me Now" beat is crazy. So when you get something like that package like that, it's like, oh, okay, I gotta start, you know, like he's like, you know, he's great. And I didn't have the most access to like no Zooms and MP3 players. But if I would have, I'd have probably been like a super Nas fan by the time I was like 15.
Speaking of "Hate Me Now," I actually want to go to another song. "I'm on Fire."
Yeah.
And he said, "Still got the same flame behind me from the Hate Me Now video.
Yeah.
It's continual. All I need is a beat, and I'm stitching you like I'm stitching these words together, how I'm getting better. And I'm finding more gold as I dig in the dirt with a shovel." Bruh. That's why I feel as though Hit Boy was so important here. Not to say, I hate to say like I'm speaking for these niggas, but this is just my opinion based off of what I'm listening to. And I feel as though like Hit Boy really invigorated Nas to where he really he's digging into another bag.
Yeah, I think he challenged him too.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the fruit of it is like still sharp and still from the perspective of like I'm giving you these great beats, you know what I'm saying? But like we also locked into this together. Like this is
because Hit Boy rap too.
Yeah, this is a joint project though. Like I'm just as much invested in this as you. Like I'm not just sending you beats. Like we are building this together. So it's like the deeper they go, like it's just you go through the throes of the first one. Like it's just like, okay, I'm finding my cadence. I'm finding my stride. So you get to King's Disease 3. It's just like, bro, like now I'm so comfortable like rapping again. So now I can like just challenge myself on a deeper level to go back and find things that I can put together. Cause the raps is solid.
Yeah, rap's always
now I just gotta find some other stuff to rap about and how I want to present it. So yeah, like the deeper you dig, and I think we addressed this on one of the previous DeCyphers. Like the deeper you dig, the more you'll find about yourself. And I just think this has been a process of him doing that. Yeah. Like gaining a greater understanding of himself and just continuing to pen his memoirs from his zenith. Looking back and throughout his career while not being so satisfied. Because what song was that where he was like, reminisce. He was like it ain't really cool to reminisce all the time. Like, cause what we doing right now is pretty lit. Like, like I'm super ecstatic about what I'm doing now and what it's going to turn into in the future. So like, I ain't just super caught up on my Al Bundy shit, like telling you I could throw the football over the mountains. You feel me? Like I'm still throwing the football over the mountain. Like I ain't got to tell you that I did it back in the past. You want to let's go into Thun real quick.
Go ahead.
Because we're gonna have to jump across it real quick. What did that nigga say? For nothing else, he showed how great of a storyteller he was. Yeah. So like on a song like Thun, like it's like kind of almost like a ode to the grind of this time and the people that he came up with, and like still having like a connection to them, but like kind of being a light for them in a sense, like not necessarily through dropping gems, but just like, hey man, like it's possible to get here.
Yeah, I mean, he name dropped a lot of people on that song.
Shit, he was telling niggas where he was at.
Yeah.
Like he did a lot of like very detailed like illustrations of where he was at during these times. Like almost to like telling what color the street sign was type shit, like extremely descriptive throughout this project. And that was something that I really appreciated. Just going back and listening to
the words was Time New Roman on the street sign.
Some shit like that. Just like, oh, okay, so I really feel like where I am. I feel like I am where you are. And he said that in First Time too. Like, you could feel like you could see what I was saying, like as I was rapping it to you, especially like the first time. Like when you hear, when you hearing Illmatic for the first time, you feel like you own the train.
Yeah, you
like,
do.
I don't know where this train going, but I'm on that hoe. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, it's so embedded in his mind too that he can still hear the train, the wheels on the train rolling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's like he has the ability to like illustrate something to you to where you can close your eyes and visualize it. And he made sure to make that a point on all of these songs. But in particular, songs like Thun, Recession Proof, Reminisce, Once a Man, Twice a Child, WTF, SMH, Beef.
Beef is crazy, bro.
I wanna talk about Beef. I'm sorry, I'm gonna skip around, but like,
no, you good, because Beef is like, this is another reason why I respect Nas, because another way as far as giving you content, like he literally took an action or a concept, and just made a whole song just right there from the perspective of the action, Beef. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what, like if Beef was a person, like this is what, like that's so fire to me, bro.
Yeah,
like,
that's the poetic side of Nas, and I feel like that's the part of him that like elevates him, because you can have all the cadence in the world and I be talking about shit.
Facts.
IG my mixed brother blank. But yeah, it's like
I'm the bland, I'm the bland, I'm the bland, I'm the bland.
on a stand up band, lacking the band,
the napkins and the napkins.
But yeah, I feel like on Beef, like him being the personification or onomatopoeia or whatever literary device that is, like personifying Beef is reminiscent to when he did I Gave You Power, which is about the gun, you know, from the previous projects. Right. So it's just like him speaking on it from the perspective of it can tear down even the biggest kingdom. You know what I mean? Like it don't matter how high you get, it's everywhere. You know, it's with women, it's with men, it's caused by women through men, and vice versa. It can lead you to destroying your path to your enlightenment and enrichment. You know what I mean? Like Beef is so powerful that niggas say I was here before the Bible was here. You know what I mean? Like I destroy everything and I breed off of y'all's ignorance.
And when he makes songs like this, I feel as though they always stand the test of time, because like you said, no matter what era, what period you bring the concept up in, it's always relevant. Yeah,
because he understands also how to pick universally existent concepts too. You know what I mean? Like, because even if it wasn't a gun, it's still like any like a instrument of violence. You know what I mean? And beef is a concept that, you know, exists and roots through, you know, jealousy, envy, and anger. You know what I mean? So it's like, it'll never go away. So it's always gonna be prevalent. So the song is always going to be poignant and have a deep level of meaning, because he's able to craft it in a way that makes it so special. Yeah. It ain't just like, yeah, I'm beefing with you, you beefing with me, and I kill you. It's like, no, like, what is it? Yeah. I have existed for this amount of time. I do this, I do that. And as long as y'all ignorant to my existence,
my influence,
my influence and ability to cause destruction and separation, I'm gonna continue to do my thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna grow stronger. The longer y'all keep doing what the fuck shit, this is what I want to do. I am who I am. And I accept that.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? So if y'all want to come with the fuck shit, best believe I want all the smoke.
Yeah, let's go back to Once a Man, Twice a Child. This was another song that was important to me because, like, believe it or not, like we not getting up there, but we aging, bro. Like, sometimes you think like, damn, like I feel like sometimes like I have moments like, damn, like I don't feel too far from being in high school. But sometimes you're like, damn, like I ain't too far from being 50. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like he was really speaking on like and one of the themes that I got from it was like I was saying, the appreciation of the past and the roads traveled while allowing the present moment, while owning it, you know, in the wisdom gained, like the beauty of aging and progression through life. So like he was saying, like, you ain't gonna be able to do everything the same, you know, for lack of better words. So it's like with this, it's like appreciate not only the life that you're living, but appreciate who's around, because you never know, that might be your nurse. You know what I mean? Like, like guard your wisdom, you know, for the life you save may be your own, for real. Like just take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, because you never know when you're gonna need to be taken care of. Because like just by the parable alone, like you're going to be in a state of need if you live that long. Like if you're blessed enough to live that long, it's probably gonna be 2 times in your life where you need to be taken care of as a man.
And that song kind of hit different for me personally, or really for both of us, really. In our real jobs, we get to see that,
all the time,
all the damn time. So
and we got kids, so it's like we got sons, like so we see like that part of it, like in bringing somebody into the world and like like guiding them through the parts where the points of life where they're not able to, you know, discern and take care of themselves. And it kind of remind you like, shit, like you might be closer to being back. You close, like, you know what I'm saying? Like 30 years added, you might be back where they was at or where they are now. And if you take 30 years away, you exactly where they at right now. So it's just like,
especially if you don't take care of yourself.
Exactly. And it's just like, that's a part of the King's disease, the whole thing, like getting high on the things that don't sustain you. And then you look up and you ain't got nothing but memories. So that's why he like, bro, I don't have to reminisce. Like, I'm continuing to do stuff that fulfills and sustains me, so I don't need to look back. You know what I'm saying? I still got more life to live, and I'm not destroying myself in the process. So I'm trying to, as much as I can, extend my life at this level, you know. And so I don't have to be.
And if I need to give y'all the game, I'd have lived my life so vividly to the point where I can recall that shit on the dime.
Exactly. And that's what that's a part of the album that I really appreciate. It's just like he had so many stories to tell. And he was able to go back to the depths, like recalling times when he was, you know, in holy but clean boxes, like why his mama was having a party in the other room. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just how that, you know, shaped him and who he would become. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's great to hear these stories from somebody, you know, and allowing the stories to tell the message that he's trying to give without expressly saying it. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's something that he's come into, like the later he's gotten in his career as well. It's like, let the story say what you're trying to say instead of outright saying it. And that's like just another gem of being such a great storyteller. He's always been great, but it was more so like about what I'm seeing, you know. But when he really wanted to tell a message, he told you the message. Yeah. Now it's just like, hey, I'm telling you the message through the story, and if you listen, you'll pick it up.
And that's another reason why I like my favorite song is the Michael and Quincy song. Because in the second verse, when the beat shift, just like Hit Boy, bro.
That beat was beat switch was crazy.
Like all the beat switches you did on this album was immaculate, bro. Like if you see this shit or hear this shit, just know that, bro. I appreciate your work, bro, and I'm excited to hear whatever you got next. But on Michael and Quincy in particular, like, bro, this is how you. I know I say this a lot, but when I see it, I point that shit out. This is how you motherfucking scheme, bro.
Yeah.
Like the title of the song, Michael and Quincy, that's him and Hit Boy. But also in the second verse, you just basically going through like some of the biggest points in Michael Jackson's career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just really put it in a way that if you're not really listening, bro, you can miss a lot of shit. Like you said, I'm activated. My hair may spark flames. 80 aviator frames, bandages, laminates, a stage from a stretcher I wave. You know, when his hair caught
on the Pepsi commercial. Yeah.
And then, he mentioned the Pepsi. Like, if I ain't have 2 arms full of Grammys or a sponsor from Pepsi, I'll still be honorary. Like, bro, like, if you didn't live that moment or at least didn't see that moment, you wouldn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to the what they call the American Dream.
Yeah. Yeah. And but yeah, I thought that shit was fire. Then he was like, I like all the Shimon ad-libs.
Yeah, Shimon.
In the background. That shit was fire. Then he was like bouncing off the wall, always starting something. Okay, so like he's basically telling you like what he's doing, but he's using those different songs, like some of Michael's biggest songs in his catalog to express what he's actually doing. So that's fire. Behind the scenes of the Thriller video, big budgets, moonwalking, smooth criminal talking. I'm changing colors right now till I'm dark skinned.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so fire because that's just kind of like just the inverse.
Yeah, of the vitiligo shit. Yeah. Rest in peace to Michael Jackson, man.
Yeah,
One of the greatest artists of his time. Yeah,
man. And I just thought that was a cool flip on that because he's acknowledging and just really standing into his blackness. Like, nigga, I'm gonna get darker.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already black, but nigga, I want to get, you know what I'm saying? Like that. So I thought that was a cool flip on it. Then he said, what else he said? Annie, are you okay watching me transforming? Pinky ring glitter like socks in the glove. Know some money getting thugs that can buy the Beatles pub. Michael Jackson bought the Beatles catalog.
Yeah. And he said, that's what I call, hold on, don't say it. He said, that's what I call, he said, that's what I call reeing up.
Cop and white reeing up.
Yeah, cop and white and reeing up. I was like, that was hard. Like, that would have been one of the lines I wrote down. I didn't really write it like today, but that would have been one of the ones because I thought that was fire as fuck. The cop and white and reeing up.
And I mean, that's fire, but also too, I didn't realize this until I actually looked this up today. The Beatles had an album called The White Album.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah,
that's hard,
bro.
Yeah.
You know what he bought? Like, bro, like
that's hard. That's hard.
Like, so that whole verse just
that's a triple entendre.
Exactly.
Because like Cop and White, they white.
Mm-hmm.
Then Cop and White, like the flip on the drugs, and then Cop and the White album. That's a triple entendre. I don't know if he meant to do that.
No,
I need to call and ask him.
I think he did.
Nas, you meant to do that?
Hell yeah.
You meant to do that? I give you credit for it.
Hell yeah.
All right.
So
best storyteller, thug narrator, my styles grader.
But yeah, I love when, because like I was saying, I think Gia did that a lot on his project. Absol did that a lot. But that was just a really good example of using all your resources. And the verse ain't even that long.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like just really a bridge, really, if you want to be technical. But I mean, they call it a verse, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, I really like how he just interwoven like Michael's career along with the shit that him and Hit Boy was doing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really fire. So overall, that song's probably like my favorite on the album. And if Nas doesn't make another project, I'm totally happy. Like his discography is solidified.
Nah, he brought up that Premiere. I think I need that. I need at least a track or something. I need an EP or something. Like Nas Premiere. I don't know. I would like to hear it. Yeah. Let me get a track first. Mm-hmm. So I got an idea of what the project will sound like. But let me get that Nas and Premiere track, and if it's fire, we can go ahead and do the album. Yeah. But he had a 5 beat on Absol project, so I'm not really. Mm-hmm. I just don't want it to sound super duper dated. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite song on the project, I think at this point in time, is WTF SMH.
That's a fire beat switch too.
Excuse me. This song is important to me because like he was given a lot of knowledge throughout the project and a lot of gems, but he also took the time on this song to make sure that we didn't leave without a little bit of accountability. Mm-hmm. He brought up, you know, the need that a lot of people feel from like inner city communities or whatever the case is. He didn't expressly say this, but the point is, you know, loosely like driven home, of being envious of other people and feeling the need to like plot on them and take their shit. And also it could be like a jab at the record execs, you know, looking for something that they can extract from, you know, artists on the come up or just artists that they've signed in general. And that could be, you know, going back to Ghetto Reporter, you know what I'm saying? Like basically draining the soul and essence of the artist, and you plotting to do that is some wicked, you know, messed up stuff. You know, he was talking about the demonic shit and watch where you valet, like, cause they'll cut your brakes and shit like that. But he was saying also that we have to understand that in order to break that glass ceiling, we have to accept the fact that there is some victimization on our part, even though it's not 100% victimization, but we do have to understand in order to get to that point where we have total control over ourselves and our journey, we got to like remove some of that victimhood identity and understand that the parallels of those who have sustained greatness have a supreme level of self accountability, and understand that there's a responsibility for them getting to where they need to get to. And with that, you have to be the bull in the china shop with your obstacles. You have to like attack them head on and move forward in order to, you know, not only elevate, but sustain the places that you get along the way.
And honestly, I don't feel so you can even truly appreciate when you get to that point if you don't have that level of understanding.
Yeah.
Because like if you continue the mindset of, oh, I'm a victim, so I just deserve this shit regardless.
Yeah.
Then you're not gonna really truly understand what it means to truly get it for yourself, bro.
Yeah.
So I do like that. I didn't really think about that until now when you were saying it. So I do like that a lot, actually.
Cause I think too, like you won't have the real, your drive won't be as strong either if you don't look at it from the perspective of, I'm going to get everything that I'm coming for. But if you have like the like overwhelming sense of feeling that somebody is going to automatically stop you from getting where you need to get or where you want to get, you'll never get there because you feel like somebody gonna stop you.
Yeah.
But if you
create your own ceiling.
Exactly. If you shoot for the moon, you'll land amongst the stars. You know, and this was a poignant line that Nas said that I think goes perfectly with this part of the conversation. Believe who you are. The sun doesn't even know it's a star. You know what I mean? So like, you gotta have that sense of belief in yourself to push yourself to get where you feel like you're meant to get. We doing Manifest Destiny like what it said, like the knights in shining armor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like you gotta like have that sense of kind of borderline entitlement, a light level of delusion to get where you feel like you need to get, because it's somebody, and Mike Tyson said, he's like, your dream is a delusion until you make it manifest in real time.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is good to have those thoughts that other people don't, and even yourself like will create a level of surprise within you when you have them, because they gonna continue to be fake until you make them real. Yeah. So like, just hold on to that and understand that you are a star. You know what I'm saying? Don't be one of the stars he was referencing that burnt out. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a lot of.
Yeah, be who you are and be in tune with who you are. You gotta channel your feel before you gotta control your feel before you channel your greatness. Mm-hmm. Somebody wise said that. It was me.
Talk your shit, B.
I think I got through all my themes and concepts. We did the rap shit. You want to get into the closing thoughts?
Yeah, man. I'm just pleasantly surprised that this 3-peat is just, it can really stand on its own as like really a work of art in this turn, like where it is in this day and age right now. Like, yeah. In terms of like, it has everything you need.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. We don't do closing thoughts no more. We do Sincerely DeCypher. So this is the segment where we speak directly to the artist. So yeah, let Nas know how you feeling.
Nas, I mean, I truly appreciate what you do, man. Like, you proven time and time again. And with these latest albums you done did in these past 2 years, I don't see how anybody can speak against your discography. at this point. Like, I just feel as though it's solidified. And if you don't give us nothing else, I'm satisfied. But if you do give us something else, I'm excited. And then the crazy, like, if you able to give us this within a 2-year time frame, I mean, if you have to take a little bit longer for the next project, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because you done gave me enough, like, within these 2 years that I can really sit with. Because I'm pretty sure it's stuff that I done missed. Even listen to the albums as much as I have. It's probably stuff that still went over my head. You know, so if you need to take a little bit longer with the next one, I'm totally fine with that. I got enough to, you know, feed my palate for right now. So, and Hit Boy, keep doing what you're doing until people just truly recognize you for the great producer, great hit maker, pun intended, that you are. So, I just want to say, like I said, I'm just going to keep giving you your flowers, the more greatness that you put out. So, shout out to you too, man. So,
Mr. Jones, bruh, like, I was one of the people who got on late, maybe closer to 18, closer to around the age that you dropped Illmatic, which is crazy that you did it at such a young age. But this project is an ode to your maturation and evolution as a man, which reflects in your artistry. I'm finna make some bold statements. I know you probably agree because, you know, most people at your level do have a certain level of, you know, firm, adamant self-belief. I feel like this discography is like getting scarily close to the best catalog in rap history. I feel like the back half of your career has been like on the lowest of keys, amazing. Like and this is more of a wake-up call for people to go back through it and like really understand like the quality of work that you've given us like over, you know, this 30 plus year career. Like, it's just like a crazy level of like gems, life lessons, artistry, craftsmanship, diligence, you know what I mean? Self-reflection, and like pushing the audience to also take a look at themselves and see themselves in you and the music that you're giving, while not looking to you for someone that they can live vicariously through, but someone that they can truly learn from. So we just want to say that we appreciate what you've done as an artist. We appreciate, you know, you having the vision to create something with Hit Boy, and, you know, having a little ear to the audience, like, and probably taking the shit personal about the bad beats and getting with one of the best quote unquote beat makers of his era and creating some like generational, not generational, but catalog, second half career defining music, and like blasting open a lane for artists who make this type of music on your level, not only consumable by the audience, but like creating a lane and a desire for it at that higher level. So, you know, we just want to tell you we appreciate that. Keep doing what you're doing, man, because don't nobody know better than you with what you're doing. Like, trust your ear, trust your gut, and we always know the pen, you know, gonna come second to none. So, you know what I'm saying, we salute you on that.
Yeah, I think the only comparison I can see to this run that him and Hit Boy has had over the past, I'm gonna say about 5 years or so, because they've done stuff before this stuff here, but definitely probably say within the last 5 years, is when Kanye stepped in for Jay-Z on Blueprint.
Okay.
And really just took his shit to the next level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It really brought on the second half of his career for the most part. So, I mean, that I feel as though that's the comparison, honestly, because it truly is something that you can go back and see the turning point of people really respecting both Hit Boy and Nas with all the stuff that they've done. So that's why I feel as though it's very important. And I think in the future, I think it might be a study done on this shit, bro. like when they do their hip hop documentaries and they go through Nas, this could be one of them turning points they look at like he is that nigga, bro.
Yeah, because it's like I said, like, he didn't just drift into the abyss of
irrelevance.
Yeah, like, he grabbed the back end of his career by the horns and like took another time to like really say, hey, Like, I'm really him for real. Like, this ain't Jordan at the Wizards. Nope. Sorry, Michael Jordan. Happy 60th birthday and all of that. But this ain't Jordan at the Wizards. Like, this, no pun intended, this is three-peat. Like, this 96 through 98 for real. Mm-hmm. Like, Jay-Z had a run like this in the middle of his career. So for Nas to do it at age, whatever his age is, like, it just shows that, like, his mind is, like, aging as gracefully as you could hope for. You know what I mean? Like, and in some instances, listening to this, he's getting better. So, you know what I'm saying? Without any further ado, you know, we just want to say congratulations on a great project, a great series of projects with Hit Boy. And we're excited to see what you have next as an artist. But for our supporters, thank you for tuning into another episode of DeCypher. Our information will be around here somewhere. In the comments, let us know what projects you would like for us to jump into. You know, as I was saying, it's like music kind of dead right now. So just let us know, like, some classics. We got a wall full of them, as you can see. So any of them that you can think of. 2023 is gonna be a big year for DeCypher as a brand. We got a lot of good collaborations coming up. So we just glad to show y'all what we got coming forward. And until then, peace.